What's up, guys, and thanks for tuning into the Token Metrics YouTube channel. In this video, I want to give you guys my research, analysis, and overall investment thesis for a project called Audius. Now, full disclosure, before we even get started, I have invested in this platform and their audio token. It should also be noted that nothing in this video constitutes financial advice. All right, so let's just get a broad overview of Audius. Audius is a decentralized music and audio streaming platform that seeks to disrupt the music streaming industry with companies and platforms such as SoundCloud, Spotify, and Pandora being some of the victims of this potential disruption. So the audio token is an ERC20 token, which means it's on the Ethereum blockchain. Its ticker is Audio, and it's currently available on both Binance as well as several decentralized exchanges such as Uniswap version 2. It is a utility token, and it has three prongs of utility. The first is security, to secure the network. The second is platform and user incentives, so users can have better experiences or better incentives if they hold the audio token while they're using the Audius platform. And it's also a governance token, so people who hold the audio token can vote on the future decisions of the Audius platform. Now, the time of making this video, the total market cap of the audio token is $280 million. This is a low cap token that is being heavily traded right now. The volume is very high, so this is subject to change probably by the time you watch this video. The current total supply of audio is just over $1 billion audio tokens, with 15% of that roughly circulating currently at 153 million audio tokens circulating. All right, so the first thing I like to do when doing some research and fundamental analysis is pretty obvious. Step one, let's get familiar with their platform. This is actually very important because a lot of projects in the cryptocurrency space haven't actually built anything yet. They just have an ERC20 token, a white paper, a pretty good idea, and maybe they've put together a team, but they haven't actually written any code or built anything. And even so, you'll still see a lot of those projects have high valuations. That couldn't be further from the truth with Audius. Audius has built a robust, fully functioning streaming platform. They have both availability they've built the browser platform as well as two apps, one for the Apple App Store and one that's available in the Google Play Store. Now, they also have this dashboard here where users, whether you're an artist who's uploading their content or somebody who's just listening to music, you can earn and claim audio token. They also recently had an airdrop back in late 2020. All right. So from August to February, the Audius platform gained almost 3 million unique users, as you can see from this graph. Now, so far in March, it's March 16th while I'm filming this video, they've already captured 3.8 unique users so far in March. So they're far outpacing their current pace, and they are increasing their user base quite rapidly. Now, you can see most of the plays or most of the music that is currently on the Audius platform is in the electronic and hip hop / rap genres. Now, that just tells me that there's lots of room to grow and expand into these other genres on the platform in the future. All right, so the second thing I like to look at is the team, because you want to make sure that the team behind what you're investing in is both competent and capable of scaling the product. So the Audius website makes it very, very easy because they have a very nice team page, and they also link to the LinkedIns of each of these team members. Now, I've gone through each of these team members' LinkedIns, and what I'm looking for is relevant prior experience and experience that would indicate competency in their current role. Right? So I almost put myself in the shoes of an HR manager and I look at their previous experience on LinkedIn, almost like it's their resume, and I think to myself, is this somebody who fits the role that they're currently in? So this is just an example of one screenshot. And for the most part, I like what I see. I see a lot of software engineering experience in a lot of these people's bios, their LinkedIn bios. And in some cases, they're from large companies such as Amazon and Google, right? Which is a very good sign in my opinion. Now, part of the team is the advisors, the advisory board behind the project, right? So I separated this out into two separate things, but it's honestly something that I look at almost in conjunction. And with Audius, the advisory board is extremely impressive to say the least. At the time when I looked at Audius, it was under a $200 million market cap project. It's currently at $280 million. But I thought to myself, this is the most impressive advisory board of any project under a $200 million market cap that I've ever seen, right? So advisors include Deadmau5, who is probably the biggest of all time, if not one of the biggest EDM artists. Okay, you've also got big EDM artists with Rack and 3Low. They're bringing a lot of their music over to this platform and a lot of their fans over to this platform. Grab some screenshots here from their Spotify top 10 playlist, and you can see they've accrued hundreds of millions of plays on just a handful of their songs. You've also got Jeremy Gardner, who is a co-founder of Augur, a very successful cryptocurrency. Bing Gordon, co-founder of EA Games, one of the largest video game companies in the world. Tom Schmidt, partner at Dragonfly Capital. You've got a chief architect at BitTorrent. You have Avicii's former manager. Avicii was a very prominent EDM artist who unfortunately had an unfortunate death. You've got the co-founder of Twitch, and you've got the CEO at Beatport on this advisory board. So this is very, very, very impressive, and these people are all relevant to the mission of Audius, right? So they're going to be very, very well networked. Next, let's take a look at the investors in Audius. We want to make sure that the platform is both well funded and backed by reputable investors. And there's not much really to say here other than it can't get much in the cryptocurrency space as far as VC investors go. It can't get a whole lot better than this. And the three that I'm really referring to are Coinbase Ventures, Pantera Capital, and Binance. These are three prominent investors that have a reputation of investing in incredibly successful projects, right? All right, so next, let's take a look at the overall idea, the use case, and the viability of what Audius is trying to accomplish. All right, so one of the things that I would go as far as to recommend, and again, this is not financial advice, but if you're considering investing in any project, whether it's audio or Audius or any cryptocurrency project, it's probably a good idea to go and read project's white paper from front to back. If not, at least look at the abstract. And I'm not going to sit here and read this entire paragraph to you. That would be boring. But I am going to read the first sentence because I think it sums up the problem that Audius is seeking to fix. And it does so in just a handful of words. And that's the music industry generates $43 billion in revenue, a bunch of money, but only 12% of it goes to content artists. Now, there's two prominent examples that I can think of that just I knew about before I even read about the Audius platform. And that's that Pharrell's song Happy had, I believe, over 40 million plays. It was like 43 million plays on Pandora, and it only made him like $5,000. And then there was Daft Punk that had one of their songs, I think it was the song Get Lucky, that had 100 million plays on Spotify, and they only made $9,000 or $10,000 off of it. That's a serious problem when even the biggest hit songs and the biggest artists are making pennies on the dollar for their content. And that's something that I think the Audius platform is addressing head on, and I think that they're capable of solving. So another thing we want to take into account if we're investing in a project is, in the case of Audius, it's not just a cryptocurrency. It's not just investing into the cryptocurrency market. It's also in the music industry, specifically the music streaming industry. And if I'm investing my money, I want to make sure I'm investing my money in a space that's growing if I can. And this is a box that's checked for the music streaming industry, right? Here we see the market size in 2020, which is $24.4 billion. Now, I know on the previous page, they said 43 billion. That was for the total music industry. If we zoom into the music streaming industry, it's 24.4 billion in 2020, but it's forecasted to be 77 billion by 2027, which is an annual growth rate of almost 18%. That's something that I like a lot. Not only am I investing in cryptocurrency in this case with Audius, I'm investing in a growing industry. Now, some of the key players to kind of ground ourselves and understand, who the competitors are, in the non-cryptocurrency sector of just the music streaming industry in general. You've got Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, Deezer, Tidal, SoundCloud, Tencent, and Pandora. So those are the main competitors for Audius, right? And obviously they're all centralized. They don't have the edge that Audius has in being decentralized and being able to give most of the money, most of the revenue to the artists. So again, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into these competitors and just try to gain an understanding of how big they are and, understand how big this industry is. So Spotify has 345 million users, and they're currently valuated at $54 billion in terms of their stock's market cap. Now, SoundCloud has 175 million users, and they have over a $700 million valuation. This is the most recent number I could find, and I believe it was from 2017 or 2018. So that might have changed since then, but it's the most recent thing that I could find for SoundCloud. You've also got Pandora, who has 58 million users, and they have a $3.5 billion valuation. Okay, so these three big players here have large valuations, and the current valuation for reference of Audius is $280 million, with only about 3 to 4 million and growing users. All right, so it's I don't know what kind of information what that actually tells us, what we can glean from that, but I think it's a good reference point to keep in mind. All right, so then let's take a look at some of the tangential players in the cryptocurrency market. Now, I wouldn't view these as competitors. I would view these as proof of concept, right? Because while Theta isn't in the music streaming area, they are in video streaming, right? So they're doing in the video streaming industry what Audius intends to do in the music streaming industry. So Theta's doing decentralized video streaming. So they're taking on the big players like Twitch, like YouTube live streaming, and they've grown to a $7.2 billion market cap so far in this bull market run. So that tells me, I'm not sitting here saying that Audius could go to $7.2 billion in market cap, but I'm saying that there's proof of concept of another project that had similarities that did go to $7.2 billion. And one of the things that all three of these projects here on this page have in common is that they're pulling non-cryptocurrency people into the space, right? You can interface with Theta, Decentraland, or Chiliz and not even know that the back end is built on blockchain. Same thing with Audius. You can go to Audius, stream some music, and you're not even necessarily understanding that the underlying technology is blockchain technology. You might just go to Audius and listen to some music. Okay, so Decentraland, decentralized virtual video game, $1.2 billion market cap. Chiliz, which is a blockchain built for sports and entertainment, a $2.8 billion market cap. I don't view these as competitors. They are, in my eyes, proof of concept that Audius could potentially grow to these these sizes, if they accomplish what they're setting out to do in their respective music streaming industry. Okay, let's dive into the token economics. We want to make sure that the token we're investing in has incentives for people to buy it and or hold it. Because if there's not incentives to buy the token, the price really can't go up because there's no demand for it. And if there's no demand for it, the price won't go up. All right. So from Audius themselves, the motivation for creating the audio token is to have a platform token earned by artists, curators, and node operators on Audius for their active contributions to the network. So they're just trying to make the network, they're incentivizing the Audius platform and network to run smoothly with financial incentives, and that would be through the audio token. As I mentioned, the estimated payout for currently for artists and users of the platform is 90%, with only 10% going to the network operators, right? Those are the people that are staking and running nodes to keep the Audius platform running. Now, currently, Audius is free. It doesn't have any ads or paid subscriptions. So artists aren't currently actively earning any revenue. That's because there's a balance right now between attracting users and attracting artists. Well, this strategy of making Audius ad-free and free to use has attracted a lot of users. Now in the future, because the audio token is a governance token, people who own the audio token can vote to introduce revenue streams later on down the road that will pay artists money. So the incentive for an artist to move their music to Audius right now is to go ahead and build up a following that they can later on monetize. All right, so like I mentioned, the Audius platform token audio has 3 prongs of functionality. You got security, feature access, and governance. I'm going to run through some quick examples of each. So obviously the first one is security. The node operators are actually securing and running the network. So the node operators need to buy audio to stake it, and in return for running their node and securing the network, they're earning, I believe it's 10%, a 10% fee per year, and you can actually own audio and delegate your audio for around a 7% APY. Next is feature access. So the next reason somebody might purchase audio is to unlock additional artist tooling, right? So that might include artist tokens, badges, or earnings multipliers if you're an artist. And fans might even be able to delegate their audio to specific artists and curators to share in their growth on the platform. That's really, really interesting. You could actually delegate your audio to an artist that you think is going to blow up and potentially make money when they do. Lastly, audio is a governance token. As I've already mentioned, you can vote if you own audio on platform upgrades and changes to the overall protocol. All right, so Audius has seen a lot of growth recently, and a lot of that was due to the announcement that Audius is or plans to offer NFT functionality on the platform. Now, the NFT narrative in cryptocurrency right now is almost bigger. I would argue that it's even bigger than the DeFi narrative currently, right? We're seeing NFT projects blow up. Now, imagine being an artist, a content creator, a musician, and you can monetize your audience by creating NFTs in the form of songs. Maybe you can even NFT yourself, right, and sell shares of yourself, and people can earn money by trading those NFTs. Or maybe you can just create digital merchandise, album covers, things like that in the form of NFTs, and then use that to monetize your audience. In my opinion, this is huge. All right, so this is the audio circulating supply. And it's important to note that the supply is about to increase on April 1st, right? So the investors and the team have audio tokens that are about to vest on April 1st, and the supply is going to increase. Now, the price of audio has been going crazy lately, but I think there's a possibility for a correction when this supply comes onto the market in early April. Why? Because investors who invested their money have been sitting on a 6-month cliff and waiting to get their investment back, right? So some of these investors are going to want to get their investment money back. I'm sure a lot of their tokens they'll keep for the long term because they invested in this project in the beginning with a long-term vision, I'm sure, and it's things are going extremely well for Audius. But I think a lot of these tokens might be sold, especially now that the price has been going so high. All right, so just keep that in mind. It could present an opportunity for entry if you're interested in getting into audio, right? It might be worth waiting to April 1st to catch a correction. But then again, the price has been moving exponentially. At the time of this video, it was $1.86. It's been moving exponentially on this linear trend line on a logarithmic chart. And in my opinion, there's a chance that when things start moving exponentially, there's a chance that it just blows through this supply shock and doesn't even care. Maybe it sees a big run up and then a kind of a correction down to this line. Or on the other hand, maybe it corrects all the way back down to 50 or 60 cents because there's so much supply coming onto the market. I really don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's something to keep an eye on if you're invested in audio or considering investing in audio. All right, so I hope this video helped you. If nothing else, I hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.